The question of how many years of life a person truly has left often causes deep concern, especially when one's age surpasses 65, and each subsequent year takes on a special, invaluable significance. But what if your own body is already offering subtle hints to this answer? There are quiet yet eloquent signals that can unveil how many more years of active and fulfilling life might lie ahead. As people age, they tend to over-focus on regular medical checkups and blood tests, believing that all answers reside there. However, modern scientific research convincingly demonstrates that the most significant indicators of longevity are not hidden in intricate and expensive diagnostic procedures. Instead, they are clearly manifested in a person's daily actions and sensations, in their manner of movement, quality of sleep, and overall well-being throughout an ordinary day. This narrative will delve into 8 subtle yet extremely informative signs that appear in the human body and can provide insight into the potential number of full and healthy years awaiting in the future. It's important to emphasize that these indicators are not mere speculation or folk beliefs, but rather the result of careful observations conducted by scientists and practicing physicians on individuals who demonstrate remarkable longevity and maintain robust health. If you have ever wondered about the correctness of your chosen life path or how harmoniously and successfully your body is aging, you are strongly encouraged to pay close attention to this information. The reader will receive comprehensive details on specific aspects to observe and, even more significantly, learn about practical steps that can be taken to increase your chances not just for longer life, but for a higher quality of life. Some of the presented signs may come as a surprise, but their timely recognition can fundamentally change your approach to how the rest of your life will be lived. The first and very telling sign is maintaining a confident and steady walking speed. One of the most reliable indicators of a person's potential lifespan after reaching 65 years of age is not found in complex blood tests or high-tech scans, but in their very manner of movement. The pace of walking, its rhythm, and the energy invested in each step eloquently speak to the overall condition of the cardiovascular system, muscular apparatus, bone structure, and even cognitive brain functions. When an individual moves through the world maintaining a healthy and consistent pace, it signifies much more than just physical mobility. Such a manner of movement is a direct reflection of the coordinated and efficient work of all body systems in conjunction. Medical specialists often assert that gait serves as a kind of window through which one can glimpse the body's aging process, and their assertion is absolutely correct. An energetic, confident walking speed typically indicates that the person still possesses a significant reserve of vitality and resilience. Conversely, the slower and more hesitant a person's gait becomes, the higher the probability that their body is beginning to experience serious difficulties coping with the invisible but palpable burden of age-related changes. As an illustration, consider 74-year-old Walter, who walks his dog around the neighborhood every morning. He doesn't aim for athletic records and isn't in a hurry, yet there's a noticeable liveliness and ease in his stride. Walter doesn't stop at every driveway and doesn't need to catch his breath after a few steps. His walk appears relaxed, yet quite purposeful. When he enters a room, it's evident that he's full of energy and fully present in the moment. A neighbor once remarked to him, "You don't walk like a man your age at all." Walter simply smiled in response, not giving the words much thought. He didn't realize that his confident walking pace was a powerful harbinger of his current health and, potentially, his future well-being. Numerous scientific studies have convincingly demonstrated that older adults who maintain a fast and steady walking pace generally enjoy a longer lifespan. This phenomenon is explained not only by the presence of more developed musculature or better lung function, but also by the fact that such a pace of movement is a comprehensive indicator of good motor coordination, excellent cardiovascular health, and high neural efficiency. The truth is that the speed and quality of one's gait cannot be imitated or faked. A person cannot hide the inherent weakness or hesitation in their step. These characteristics are clearly manifested in everyday actions such as the quickness of getting up from a chair, the naturalness of crossing a street, or the confidence when stepping over a curb. Conversely, a slowed walking pace can serve as an alarming signal, indicating potential circulatory problems, progressive loss of muscle mass, or even early manifestations of neurological decline. However, there is also encouraging news. Walking speed is one of those signs that are most amenable to change and can be significantly improved. A person can purposefully strengthen leg muscles, actively work on improving their balance, and develop physical endurance that can add not just years to their life, but also fill those years with greater energy and quality. Therefore, if a person still maintains their usual manner of walking, if they move through the world with noticeable energy and ease, this fact should by no means be underestimated. It is a direct message from their body, asserting, we are still full of strength. If, on the contrary, a gradual slowing of pace has been noticed, it is extremely important not to ignore it. It is recommended to start with small but regular actions, use stairs more often instead of the elevator, perform simple exercises to strengthen the legs. For how a person walks today may well be the simplest, yet most eloquent indicator of how long they will confidently stride into their future. Second sign, the ability to balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds. One of the most telling indicators of how successfully the body resists aging and how long it can maintain its functionality is a person's ability to stand on one leg. This test might seem deceptively simple, something not usually taken seriously, yet balance is a far more complex phenomenon than mere coordination of movements. It serves as a direct reflection of muscular strength, the efficiency of the nervous system, cognitive brain functions, and even the condition of the inner ear. When all these intricate systems function in harmonious interaction, when a person's body is centered and their mind focused, they can maintain balance with surprising grace and ease. However, if any of these systems falters, be it weakening muscles, slowed reflexes, or a decline in mental acuity, it immediately and clearly manifests as impaired balance. And this emerging instability is not just a minor inconvenience, but a serious warning sign. Recall the story of 77-year-old Arthur, who recently took a one-leg balance test during his routine medical checkup. His doctor simply asked him to stand on one leg barefoot, with his arms at his sides, and hold the position for 10 seconds. Arthur initially swayed a bit, but ultimately succeeded without needing support. The doctor smiled and said, "That's one of the strongest predictors of longevity we have." Arthur joked it off, but later that evening, he thought deeply about those words. Over the years, he had witnessed many of his peers fall. Some suffered hip fractures, and not all fully recovered from such injuries. He hadn't realized how closely balance was tied to survival. But once he understood, everything clicked into place and made perfect sense. Indeed, balance is not just the ability to stand still. It's the body's comprehensive capacity to protect itself, react quickly to changes, and recover effectively from them. Loss of balance significantly increases the risk of falls, and falls after a certain age can quickly lead to serious consequences. Moreover, difficulties with balance often signal other, hidden changes in the body. It might indicate that leg muscles are losing strength faster than one assumed. It could also be an early sign of problems with the brain's information processing or a slowing of reaction time. For many people, this physical change is the first they notice that causes them serious concern. However, there's a hopeful aspect. Balance is trainable. It can be restored and significantly improved. Like strength or endurance, it improves with regular use. Simple exercises, such as standing on one leg while holding onto a kitchen counter, heel-to-toe walking, or gentle yoga, can gradually restore stability. Even 30 seconds of such exercises a day can yield long-term benefits. Thus, if a person can stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds, especially without holding onto anything, it's a powerful sign that their body and brain are still functioning in harmonious interaction. If this isn't yet possible, it's no cause for panic. On the contrary, it's an invitation to act, to begin training. Every step taken to restore balance helps extend the steps a person will take in the coming years. Longevity is not just about moving forward, but also about the ability to confidently stay on your feet. Third sign, maintaining a strong and reliable grip strength. In an ordinary handshake, surprisingly, lies a remarkable amount of truth about a person's health. Grip strength might seem like a minor detail, yet it is one of the most accurate and informative indicators of how the body is coping with the passage of time and age-related changes. A firm, confident grip indicates that a person's muscles are still strong, their nervous system functions efficiently, and their cardiovascular system is likely in good condition. On the other hand, a noticeable weakening of grip can indicate a broader and more systemic decline, loss of muscle mass, decreased bone density, and even an increased risk of heart disease and cognitive impairment. Remarkably, this simple action, how well a person can hold onto something, has been repeatedly confirmed in scientific studies as a direct indicator of life expectancy. Consider the example of 70-year-old Henry, who one day noticed something unusual. While opening a jar of pickles, he suddenly found it more difficult than usual. There was no pain, just a feeling of weakness. A few weeks later, playing with his granddaughter, he realized he couldn't hold her for long. His doctor subsequently checked his grip strength with a portable dynamometer and confirmed it had noticeably decreased in just 2 years. This was a wake-up call for Henry. He didn't feel sick. He wasn't limping, coughing, or losing weight, yet his muscles were quietly fading, and his body was sending him a subtle but important signal to pay attention. This is the essence of grip strength. It doesn't shout about problems, it whispers. One feels it when carrying groceries from the store becomes a little more tiring, when unscrewing a bottle cap turns into an awkward action, when a handshake no longer feels as firm as before. These are not just ordinary signs of aging. They are indicators of deeper and more significant changes occurring within the body. However, like walking speed and balance, grip strength can and should be trained. Regularly squeezing a tennis ball, using light dumbbells, performing wall push-ups, all these exercises activate and restore the same systems that help a person hold onto objects firmly. And this is of immense importance, because it's not just about arm strength. It's about the overall level of strength that maintains the entire body. The hands, in this case, merely act as messengers, conveying important information about the body's internal state. And when these abilities begin to wane, it serves as an alarming signal that the body may be losing its natural capacity for recovery, resistance to illness, and maintenance of independence. However, this does not mean that such a scenario must necessarily become a reality for everyone. Every time a person decides to purposefully build strength, even in seemingly insignificant areas like fingers, wrists, and forearms, they are making a valuable investment in their future well-being. Therefore, if a person's grip is still strong, if they open jars effortlessly, carry bags, and shake hands confidently, it's worth pausing for a moment to appreciate this fact. It's much more than just convenience in daily life. It's a direct reflection of how harmoniously and effectively all internal body systems are functioning. And if even a slight decrease in grip strength has been noticed, it should be taken seriously, because sometimes the most minor signs can point to the deepest truths. In this case, how firmly a person holds onto something can be a symbolic harbinger of how long they will hold onto life itself. Fourth sign, waking up feeling rested most days. One of the clearest indicators that a person's body is aging successfully and can continue to do so for many years lies in how they feel when they open their eyes in the morning. Sleep is not just a way to pass the night. It is during sleep that the body actively repairs damaged tissues, strengthens the immune system, balances hormones, and removes toxins from the brain. If a person wakes up most mornings feeling truly rested, rather than sluggish or exhausted, it is a powerful sign that their internal systems are still working harmoniously and efficiently. And this is of immense importance, because disturbed or poor quality sleep is closely linked to an increased risk of developing a whole range of problems, from heart disease and stroke to memory loss and weakened immunity. As an example, consider 68-year-old Frank, who for decades was accustomed to getting only 5 hours of sleep per night. After retiring, he started going to bed a little earlier, reduced his caffeine intake in the evening, and began going outside first thing in the morning to get natural sunlight. Within a few months, he started waking up with much more energy. He no longer needed an alarm clock. His mood noticeably improved. His blood pressure slightly decreased. And the morning joint stiffness he used to constantly feel began to gradually subside. His sleep didn't change his health instantly, but gradually, over time. And this change brought something invaluable, a resurgence of vitality. Sleep is a kind of window into the body's overall condition. If a person wakes up several times a night, has trouble falling asleep, or feels tired even after 7 or 8 hours in bed, their body may be trying to tell them something. This could be related to stress, undiagnosed sleep apnea, a side effect of medication, or a sign of something deeper. And while there's a temptation to dismiss sleep problems as an inevitable part of aging, such an assumption can be costly. The longer poor sleep goes unaddressed, the more it undermines a person's ability to think clearly, move easily, and effectively protect themselves from illness. But the good news is that, like the other signs discussed, sleep can be significantly improved even in one's 70s or 80s. Establishing a consistent sleep schedule, reducing screen time in the evening, limiting alcohol and heavy food before bed, and getting morning light exposure, all these small changes can help restore the body's natural rhythm. And when that rhythm improves, so does the quality of rest. And when rest improves, all other aspects of life, heart, brain, energy, overall outlook, also get better. Thus, if a person is among those who wake up truly rested most days, they should not take it for granted. It is a rare and extremely significant gift. It indicates that their body is still working effectively behind the scenes. And if a person has not yet reached this state, it does not mean they are aging poorly. It means there is a wonderful opportunity for improvement. Because improving sleep is not just a matter of comfort. It is a matter of longevity. And sometimes, how well a person sleeps tonight can determine how strong they will feel 10 years from now. Fifth sign, regularly eating with a steady appetite. A person's appetite, especially after age 65, can reveal much more about their health than one might expect. When a person regularly feels hungry at meal times, enjoys the taste of food, and maintains a stable body weight, it's a good sign that their internal systems, from digestion to hormonal regulation and emotional state, are functioning smoothly and efficiently. On the other hand, a fading appetite, especially when combined with unintentional weight loss or a complete indifference to food, can quietly signal deeper, hidden problems. Appetite is not just a need for nourishment, it's a kind of window into the body's overall vitality. Take, for example, 73-year-old Charles, who still eagerly anticipates his morning breakfast. He brews coffee, slices fresh fruit, and enjoys oatmeal with a sprinkle of cinnamon. There's nothing extraordinary about it, but it's consistent and, more importantly, satisfying to him. His doctor once told him, as long as you're still enjoying your food and maintaining your strength, your body is telling you it's doing its job. A quiet signal that his systems were still in balance. Charles didn't consider his appetite anything special. He simply enjoyed his meals. But over time, he began to see it for what it truly was, a quiet signal that his systems were still in balance. Loss of appetite is widespread among older adults, but it should by no means be considered normal or an inevitable companion of age. Sometimes it can indicate side effects of medications, a decline in mood, changes in the digestive system, or even early stages of serious illnesses. When a person stops wanting to eat, their muscles begin to break down faster. The immune system weakens, energy levels drop, and over time, there is a loss not only of physical strength but also of independence. This is why paying attention to how much one eats and how strong one's appetite is matters far more than most people realize. It's not just about calories, but about a deep connection to life itself. However, appetite, like many other health indicators, can be purposefully developed and maintained. Physical activity, even something as simple as daily walking, can help restore natural hunger signals. Eating meals in the company of others can rekindle the joy and pleasure of dining. Adding herbs, spices, or new textures to dishes can make food appealing and flavorful again. Sometimes, even addressing issues like dry mouth or improving denture fit can make a crucial difference. The main thing is not to ignore a declining appetite. Therefore, if a person looks forward to meals, enjoys their flavors, and eats without effort or coercion, this fact should not be overlooked. It's their body's way of saying, I still have fuel to burn. And if appetite has begun to wane, one should listen carefully. Because restoring it can not only improve daily energy but also add healthy years to life. After all, the desire to nourish oneself is one of the oldest and most fundamental signs of well-being. And when that spark is still present, it's often a sign that there's still so much more to come. Sixth sign, calm and measured responses to stress. How a person handles stress at this stage of life can subtly, yet accurately, reveal how long their body and mind can continue to function effectively. Chronic stress, especially if not managed properly, gradually erodes health from within. It contributes to high blood pressure, depletes the immune system, and accelerates the aging processes of both the brain and the entire body. But if a person notices that they now face life's challenges with a steadier hand, a calmer voice, and fewer emotional outbursts, it signifies more than just accumulated wisdom. They may be protecting their longevity in ways they don't even realize. Recall 76-year-old Gerald, who for years reacted quickly and emotionally to every problem, financial setbacks, disagreements, even bad drivers on the road. But in recent years, his approach changed. When a pipe burst in his kitchen, he didn't yell. He took a deep breath, calmly called the appropriate service, and handled the mess without panic. It's not worth the heartburn, he joked. But this shift, the choice of measured responses instead of explosive reactions, is more than just a character trait. It's a manifestation of resilience. And resilience is one of the most powerful predictors of a long and healthy life. When a person's nervous system is balanced, when their mind isn't stuck in constant worry, their body functions significantly better. The heart beats more evenly, digestion improves, sleep becomes deeper, and decision-making is clearer. This doesn't mean a person completely avoids stress. It means their body has learned to return to equilibrium after stressful situations. This return to baseline keeps inflammation low and ensures all internal systems run smoothly. And the more consistently a person does this, the higher their chances of avoiding stress-related diseases, which are known to shorten lifespan. Certainly, stress is an inherent part of human existence. The goal is not to eliminate it entirely, but to develop a healthy and adaptive response to it. Gentle breathing exercises, quiet time spent outdoors, prayer, or even regular conversations with someone who knows how to listen, all these simple habits help regulate emotions and bring the body back to a state of calm. And every time a person does this, it's like pressing a reset button on the aging process itself. Therefore, if a person finds that they no longer panic at the first sign of trouble, that they take time to reflect before reacting, or that they can navigate disappointments with a little more grace, it is of immense importance. It means their inner world is stable. And this stability can help them live not only longer but also better. Because longevity is not about avoiding every storm, it's about being able to weather them without breaking. Seventh sign, maintaining mental sharpness and easily recalling everyday details. A person's mind, like their body, offers subtle hints about how successfully it is aging. And one of the clearest signs that a person may live longer than average is their ability to. The consistent ability to think clearly, effortlessly recall names, follow conversations, and concentrate without significant effort. These cognitive abilities, often taken for granted until they begin to decline, are deeply linked to the brain's resilience and vitality. When they remain intact, especially past age 60, it often signals that a person's overall health is robust and stable beneath the surface. Consider Linda, 72, who still expertly manages family finances, leads her neighborhood book club, and always remembers her grandchildren's birthdays without notes. Her friends often joke that her memory is sharper than theirs. Linda knows this isn't just luck. She reads daily, solves crossword puzzles over morning coffee, and aims to learn something new each week. Her routine isn't merely a pastime, it's a deliberate effort to keep her brain active. What she might not realize is that these habits don't just maintain her mental acuity, they actively contribute to extending her life. Cognitive clarity is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity because the brain controls far more than just thought processes. It coordinates movement, regulates emotions, manages sleep, and directs all organs on how to function. When the brain slows down, all other bodily systems tend to follow suit. This is why it's crucial to recognize early signs of cognitive decline, such as forgetting recent events, struggling to find words, or experiencing prolonged brain fog. These aren't just frustrating moments, they are vital signals. Addressing them early gives your brain the best chance to recover and maintain its functions. The good news is that the brain can be trained at any age. Staying socially active, reading challenging material, learning new skills, spending time outdoors, and eating well, all these actions nourish the brain's neural connections. When the brain receives the necessary nutrition and stimulation, a person's life tends to remain fuller and richer for longer. So if you feel mentally clear most days, remember details, maintain conversations, and feel mentally present, this is not just a small blessing, it's a sign of inner strength and health. If you've noticed some changes, there's no need to panic, but don't ignore them either. Caring for your brain now is one of the smartest ways to care for your future. The sharper your mind remains, the more likely you are to continue enjoying the world around you for many years to come. Sign 8. Maintaining strong social connections with others. One of the most underestimated yet powerful indicators of how long a person might live past 65 is the quality of their connections. This isn't just about physical proximity, it's about a deep sense of being seen, heard, and valued in meaningful relationships. Humans were never meant to age in isolation. When we lose connection, when we stop talking, laughing, touching, and sharing life, we begin to decline faster than we realize. But when we remain socially active, even in quiet and unassuming ways, it nourishes our health in profound and long-lasting ways. Consider 79-year-old Evelyn, who calls her sister every Sunday, attends a knitting group once a week, and chats with neighbors while walking her dog. She doesn't have a vast social circle, but she isn't lonely, and that makes a world of difference. Her doctor once told her, "You're doing one of the best things for your heart, staying connected." At first, she didn't grasp the meaning, but over time, she realized how much better she slept after laughing with a friend or how energized she felt after a simple lunch with her cousin. The body responds to social connections like medicine. Social connections reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, support immune function, and stimulate brain activity. They also protect against depression, cognitive decline, and even decrease the risk of early death. In fact, researchers have found that a lack of strong social ties can be as detrimental to one's health as smoking or obesity. Unlike those factors, however, social connections are harder to measure. You won't see them on a scale or in a blood test, but their impact is felt in one's spirit and clearly evident in how they age. If you notice a tendency to withdraw, avoid calls, or skip gatherings, telling yourself it's simply easier to stay home, it's worth paying attention. Not because solitude is inherently bad, but because prolonged disconnection can slowly and subtly steal years from your life. The antidote doesn't have to be complex. It could mean calling someone you haven't spoken to in a while, sending a handwritten card, joining a local group or class, or even striking up a conversation at the grocery store. When you offer your presence to the world often gives something back. And by remaining part of something, however small, you remind your body that it is still needed and valued. Therefore, if you still have strong relationships in your life, if people are interested in you and you in them, do not underestimate this. This connection can serve as one of the most evident indicators not only of longevity but also of a high quality of life. Concluding thoughts. As we move to our final reflections, having reviewed the 8 signs presented, readers are invited to take time for self-reflection. How many of these indicators resonate with your own life? Do you maintain a confident gait, find it easy to balance, wake up feeling rested, eat with appetite, retain mental clarity, laugh often, and uphold active social connections? These manifestations are not just fleeting details of daily life. They represent important signals, subtle yet constant and deeply meaningful. They reveal the potential your body and mind still possess and, more importantly, point to future prospects. If you continue to care for yourself using simple, consistent methods, the encouraging news is that most of these signs are not unchangeable verdicts. They are not strict tests to pass or fail. Rather, they are invitations to act. If your balance is off, it can be strengthened. If your appetite has decreased, it can be restored. If stress feels heavier than before, you can learn to mitigate it. Longevity isn't about chasing a perfect state. It's about being mindful of yourself, responding thoughtfully to your body signals, and choosing small, consistent actions that lead to significant positive changes over time. Graceful aging isn't an attempt to avoid natural decline. It means constantly being in dialogue with your body and wisely responding to its needs. And it's important to remember that it's never too late to change the trajectory of your health story. Whether you are 66 or 86, the decisions you make today still hold immense significance. They continue to shape your tomorrow. Your gait, your words, the quality of your sleep, your laughter, all these radiate outward, not only granting you more time but also filling that time with greater life and meaning. Therefore, everyone is invited to ask themselves, which of these signs surprised you the most? Which one do you clearly see in yourself? And which one are you ready to start working on today?